Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Gavv, episode 34. Everyone, our beloved king of sweets and diabetes has finally gotten his final form, or at least one of its final forms. We saw our beloved king of sweets, Shoma, giving the One Punch Man treatment to the evil Magen. But according to Shoma, it wasn't the case. Now, let me explain as I will start our beloved tale. So, after punching Magen to oblivion, our beloved heroes returned to the office as Dente finished examining Hanto. Shoma noticed that, Dente's second mouse is missing a couple of teeth. And of course, Dente had to lie to his nephew, saying that, I had cavities, so I had no choice but to, get rid of them. And we all know it's obvious that it's a lie, and Sashika didn't say anything much. I think I've noticed that Sashika just, placed her head down as she was walking away to put her stuff away. But yeah, I mean, would Shoma know the truth about, the reason why, he had to pull his teeth out? That remains to be seen, because for those who've seen the episode already knows what happened to Uncle Dente, but I'm not going to get ahead of myself too much. So Dente lied to his nephew about, his missing teeth. And Hanto asked, Shoma, have you killed this evil Magen? Is it over? But according to Shoma, apparently was not so, because according to him, he said he is unsure because if he did, he remembers, the feeling of feedback of the rocks after the punch. And he also noticed that his brother Nave disappeared, assuming that I don't think this is over, guys. And speaking of Nave, we go to the next scene. He's in the forest trying to find Magen and finds him alive, barely, and explained, thanks to Shoma's failed attempt to tapping in on his newfound power, that's what saved him. And then he said, I think it's time for a little bit of a tune-up, don't you think? So we immediately go back to the office after the opening credits. Dente gets the rundown of what happened and tells Shoma that in order to use the gochipod again, he needs 100 gochizos. So Shoma was like, okay, no problem. So I'm just going to eat some more snacks and hopefully I can mass produce 100 gochizos. And it's funny because as he was looking around the office for any snacks, he realizes, wait a minute, there's nothing here. Even the fridge got cleaned out. And Hanto threw Dente under the bus because he said, Dente ate everything in the office. And Dente's like, you told me to, eat once I get my energy back, right? And I ate everything. And Sashika's like, I can't believe this. You cleaned out my fridge. and Shoma was so optimistic, like, nah, it's fine. We could just go to the grocery store. It's fine. Just let's go, Sashika. Let's go out there and buy some snacks. But poor Sashika was like, I can't believe that you cleaned out my office. we don't have any food. That's funny. So Sashika and Shoma go out shopping, and we quickly go to the next scene. Apparently Shoma is now like a returning customer because he, shows up at this very same candy shop that he first visited it like a couple of episodes ago, and it's in the middle of the night, mind you, and he was starting to get some of his treats, and the kid wanted to get one of the last treats, and Shoma gave it to him and whatnot. So he was shopping and making a kid smile along the way. And then we immediately go back to the office after the shopping, and Shoma was like, wait a minute, what is this? Because he came back and he sees all his friends and family with aprons on, baking equipment everywhere, and was like, what the hell is this? And Sashika said, well, I think it's best if we could, cook our own snacks. It's better because, we wouldn't want to go on a shopping spree all panicky and all that stuff. So I think it's best to cook our own stuff. Why not? So they were doing their thing. You see Hato and Rikita, doing the dishes. You see Dente and Sashika making pancakes. And you see Shoma doing his own cotton candy. That would be cool. Shoma making his own candy corn. That would be cool. And afterwards, everything was done. You see Shoma eating pancakes and homemade chips Hanto made, and they were delicious and whatnot. And, Dente, I noticed that Dente was enjoying himself just seeing this unfold right before his eyes. And I bet he was like, I wish my own family were like this, because there's no way Lango, Gota, Shita, Jeeb, and Nave could possibly be like this, and it sucks. It really sucks. Speaking of which, we go to the penthouse, and Gota confronts her new sister-in-law, and she demands, what the hell? Like, what is it that you're up to, Lizelle? You took my company, my family's company, from beneath us, and what's your reason? What's your purpose of marrying my little brother? What's going on? What's the deal? I want you gone. I want you gone, bitch. And then she gets confronted by Sheeta's ghost, and Gota's like, wait a minute, Sheeta, it can't be. You're dead. But of course, Lizelle points out, no, that's your brother. He's just using her disguise right now. And so the exchange happened. Jeep goes back to his old disguise. And Gota is in disbelief, because she was like, I can't believe that what are you doing? Like you're insane right now. And Jeep tells his sister, I need her. She is the instrument of my revenge against those who harmed me, especially to Sheeta. And Gota was like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, what is, like, she has that shocked look on her face, and it's just like, I can't believe what I'm hearing. I can't believe what I'm seeing. And I have to admit, like, Jeeb has not gotten over the death of his twin sister. It's obvious because, look, he's wearing his sister's disguise. That's not normal, even for a Ganyu standard. It's just not right. Like, he really needs to mourn and really let go. But no, he is right now obsessed with revenge. And it's crazy. And I kind of feel bad for her, Gota, but it's karma coming back and inflicting, karma back to the family, because they have done a lot of terrible stuff. Especially Gota was the one who crushed Shoma's mother right before his eyes. So I don't feel that bad for her, but she knows that her family is falling apart. And before she left, Lizelle said to her sister-in-law that you need to be worrying about your future than your siblings, because I don't know what she meant by that, but she was like you need to, create your own future, because I've noticed that you've been like being a follower towards your brothers. I mean, you need to be your own leader, according to her, and then go to leads with frustration and. But again, this is karma. It's karma. I don't feel bad for her, not at all. So we go to Magen, and he has his hands on the new and improved Dr. Nick gun. And Nave, why did you give that gun to Magen when you specifically told your older brother that this gun will be useful for towards your human hunting? What the hell? Why you gave it to Magen instead? So already Nave's allegiance towards the family is close to being flipped. But yeah, so Magen uses the gun and shoots a random building, trapping people inside, and he is trying to lure the Kamen Riders out. And speaking of the Kamen Riders, Shoma's second mouth, his Gavv, is not producing any more gochizos, and they're missing 3. And to make matters even worse, the gochizo scout reports in and found Magen. And so Rakita and Hanto told Shoma, stay here, don't worry about it, we will buy you some time, let us handle it. And so they left. And so they leave Shoma with more eating, leave him with the eating. And so, yeah, that happened. So we go to the next scene. Hanto and Rakita confronts Magen and they fight. And then we go back to the office. And Sashika made a discovery that Shoma normally, when he eats something, he normally goes to food heaven, like Food Wars, but more like PG version. and so Sashika did the next best thing, because she figures, well, the reason why you're not mass producing any more gochizos is because the food hasn't taken him to food heaven. And we all had that moment before when we try something, like especially food that we never eaten before, and you're like, wow, like it's really good. We all had that moment. So Sashika did the next best thing, which is, she served Shoma homemade almond cookies, oagi, I can't pronounce it, and a crepe. And that's when, the moment he tried all 3, he went to food heaven, and he mass produced the final 3 that he needs to power up his gochipod. And yeah, we go back to Hanto, Rakita, and Magen. And their job was to slow him down. And there were a couple of near close calls, but and also Hanto's ice cream frappe melted. So yeah, it was pretty bad, but the purpose was to give Shoma time. It's not to defeat him, which, speaking of Shoma, the king of sweets shows up at the nick of time, transforms into his over Gavv form, and tells Magen to give up the dark treats or be destroyed. And of course, Magen says, no, I will not give up on the dark treats. But the thing is, guys, when someone is highly addicted to something, there's no way that the person, or in this case, a granute, will ever, would never give up on it, because it's candy crack for a reason. It's cocaine in candy form. How can one give up on that highly addictive drug? It's impossible unless they have some kind of counter drug to counteract the negative toxics. And also you have to deal with the withdrawals too. So it's not really that simple. It's not like Magen could say, okay, no, I'll give up. He is too high on the candy crack. So it's obvious it's going to say no. Well, yeah, so we all know the answer. So when Shoma tries to do his over smash, Magen flips over Shoma and tells Shoma that, hey, Nave was right. Because if I continue to dodge, and since, Shoma has yet to control his power, I can easily defeat him. I just need to figure out a way to do so. But for right now, all he needs to do is to dodge the punches. So as Shoma was trying to punch Magen to oblivion, Hanto realizes that, wait a minute, he cannot keep this up forever because the gochipod will run out soon. And Rikita said, well, let us help Shoma, punch the target. And so Hanto was like, oh, okay, I will follow your lead. So they both transform to their regular forms. And thanks to the power of donuts and flan, they managed to bind Magen and takes him and drags him towards Shoma so he could punch him. It's nice to see Rikita and Hanto, combine their powers and, work together. But it took all three of them to defeat Magen. But it's just an awesome scene to watch. Both Rikita and Hanto and just drags Magen to Shoma. But in the middle of it, Magen breaks his bonds. However, again, they never let go because you see Magen trying to damage Rikita and Hanto, but even still, they just we're not gonna let you go. We will let you go once we deem you ready to be let go. And we get this awesome scene where they both had Magen at right in front of Shoma. They just released and just fly, and then Shoma does his over smash, and this time it's official. Magen is officially dead. And so afterwards, our heroes go check on the building to make sure the people are safe and sound, and the day is saved. And then we go to Dente. He returns home, and he is reminded of the good day he had with everybody at the Happy Parade offices. And he was about to get to eat his homemade cookie, and says, Shoma will be taken care of. He is happy to see his nephew happy after everything he has been through. If he will be fine even after I'm gone. And then we see this sad scene of him not eating the cookie. His arm drops and his body just sits there, and the camera just slowly pans out from the cave. Now, you guys will assume that maybe they're trolling again. I don't think the writing team will troll a second time. I think that, yeah, it's official. Dente is officially gone. And it's sad because I wanted to see him live until the very last episode. But, it is what it is, right? And I'm sad. And there's people online saying, well, why did, Dente have to die by himself? Shouldn't he be with his loved ones? But the thing is, guys, that's life. Unfortunately, when it comes to people dying, we either die with people we love or we don't. And that's the sad part of life. It is what it is. Like, I don't mind it at all, but it's just, I'm trying to point it out that sometimes, it's when someone is dying, either you're lucky to have people around you, or, you die alone. It's just the way it is, unfortunately. So, yeah, I don't think the writers would troll a second time like they did last week. They wouldn't do that. So, after that sad moment, we go back to as the God New World turns, and the president has an announcement to make. And apparently, Nave got promoted. He will continue his research, but it's going to be under the president. And Lago and Gota's like, what the hell? So you did backstab us in the back. And Nave's response was like, well, I needed the money. I'm like, really, Nave? But I wouldn't be surprised, because it's just this family, the Stomach family, is falling apart right before our very eyes. Before, they were all united. Now they're falling apart. Sheeta is dead. Nave betrayed the family. Jeeb also betrayed the family by giving everything, the keys to the kingdom to his wife and father-in-law. And now Lago's plan has been stripped from him, and the president took his place, and he will utilize the plan that was meant for Lago. So Nave turned traitor, and what makes matters even worse for Lago and Gota is that the president wants to make an order. He wants 10 million premium presses. Well, 10 million dark treats, and it has to be premium. And Gota was like, whoa, 10 mil? That's insane. Especially if you want a premium quality, whatever that means. Like, that's impossible. And the president was like, well, it's your problem, not mine. I am waiting for my 10 million dark treats. Good luck. Bye-bye. Leaving both Lago and Gota all speechless. Like, how are we gonna procure 10 mil? That's impossible. And to rub it in, right? Lizelle and G was like, well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about the cost. We will flip the bill. It's just do your work and everything's going to be fine. And Jeep just once again is rubbing salt in the already open wound towards, his older brother. And Lago was like, well, okay, I'll accept your challenge. I'll give you, the top quality presses and whatnot. So he wasn't like, are you kidding me? He was just like stone-faced, like, okay, I'll give you what you want. And that's how the episode ends. Oh, guys. Dente's officially dead because, again, I just refuse to believe that the writers will troll us the second time. If they end up trolling the second time, then people will get upset. Either you haven't killed off or not. Just do not continue to string us along. But yeah, I think it's official. I think Dente is officially gone. And what's sad is that next week we will not see either our heroes visit him and notice that something is up. At least maybe until the end of the episode, but most definitely the episode after. Now, Can you imagine if Creative would decide if Nate returns to see his uncle and he notices his dead body and just wondering, like, hey, I'm talking to you. Like, why aren't you talking back? And then he checks his pulse and everything and it's all cold. And then next you know, Shoma shows up, or Hanto or Rikita shows up. But just imagine Shoma shows up. and sees that his uncle is dead and Nate being there, and he's gonna assume the worst, that wait a minute, how could you killed our uncle, and he's gonna be out for revenge. And then Nave, at least Nave at that moment will be like, I didn't do anything, I just showed up, I'm innocent here. But Shoma will not believe him whatsoever because he is a bad guy. So yeah, it's gonna be very bad. I don't know how Shoma's gonna handle another loss. And I believe that once Dente is gone, I think Shoma will go up to Hanto and be like, I'm ready to meet my extended family. And maybe I think that could possibly happen. Or else he will turn to him and Rakita and Sashika to mourn with, because, yeah, and what's worse too, who's gonna examine Hanto now? Because he's the only researcher, and Dr. Nick is dead, and now Dente's dead. Who's gonna be the one to examine Hanto? Nave? There's no way in hell that Nave is gonna do it. And Rakita, how he's gonna get his final form without Dente? Yeah, but everything is gonna be in his last will. I don't know what he wrote there, but yeah, everything's gonna get revealed in his last will. My thoughts and opinions about Magen becoming bitter Gavv, it's just a waste of a character, a waste of a form. I would have preferred, a last evil Shoma moment, just wanting revenge for the death of Dr. Nick. I would have just go with that route. But it's just, I don't know what's up with creative, because I feel like they're wasting away potential characters and they're just getting rid of them so quickly. And Dr. Nick was one of them. I'm not saying that Magen was a potential character to know, but it's just I felt like, the powers of bitter Gavv was wasted on him, in my personal opinion. But that's just me. I would have much rather preferred, somebody else to maybe a final evil Shoma, but it is what it is, right? Let's see. To see the Stomach family falling apart, it's karma, and it always goes back to parents. Papa's Stomach has to be one of the worst parents ever, worst fathers ever. We don't know what happened to Mama's Stomach. Is she alive or dead? We don't know yet. But it's just, what happened to the siblings that made them turn to the dark side? Because a family like that shouldn't backstab family. But look, Nave betrays Lago. Jeeb is throwing his family under the bus. They didn't mourn Sheeta's death at all. And they treated Shoma like caca. So it's just, like, it's instant karma. It is. It's just, I'm curious about what led them to become the monsters they are now. And are they worth saving at this point? Is Nave worth saving? Is Lago worth saving? And we still don't know who killed Comlet, which I have a feeling that it has to be Nave. I want it to be Nave. But I don't know if that's going to happen. But the episode, was bittersweet. Shoma has yet to channel his new form, but the job was done and the day is saved. And yeah, like, it's going to be tough to produce 100 gochizos every single time, but Shoma will find a way. And also you will find a way to deal with Dente's death, which, it's sad. Yeah. So what you guys, what's your thoughts and opinions about this episode? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Did I miss anything, even though I have my notes in front of me? Do you like Shoma's new final form? What are your thoughts and opinions about Magen being, bitter Gavv? Your thoughts and opinions about the stomach family as of right now. Give me everything, and also your thoughts and opinions about Dente. Do you agree that it was time for him to go, or do you think that they could have waited until the final episode? Give me your thoughts and opinions, guys. I'm interested and just interested in your opinions about the episode. So yeah, give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And I'll see you all on the other side of Oblivion. And also, happy Mother's Day, everyone, for those who celebrate it. Johnny!